Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Spirit Journey. Today is Sunday, September 27, 2020, and the time is 8:28. I've been up for maybe an hour and a half at the most. Already had my green tonic, my little herbal mix. I like to do that first thing in the morning to do well for my body. Yes, good morning, viewer. Good morning. Yes, I hope you are doing well. Yes, you can say hello in the chat room. I have my reading glasses on. Yes, good morning. Good morning, all. Yeah, I'm just turning on this live stream, so I didn't even begin yet. Yes. Yeah, it's really hazy outside, as you see here out my window. Yes, yes, good morning. I love the quietness of the day. And yeah, I have a lot on my mind. And I was just about to read, actually. I hope the audio is good. Yeah, I'm filming on my iPad, and I have the mic maybe a foot away from my mouth, so I hope you can hear everything. Yeah, I was just about to read, I try to, like, when I get up, if I'm going to read, I like to read first thing in the morning upon waking up. Yes, good morning, more viewers. Good morning. And I started to get agitated. Yeah, I think I told you guys in an earlier video. Yes, I did. Um, I bought some books, and this is one of them. Okay. Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe. And it's a book, it's an old book. I mean, the story is an old story. It came out in the 1850s. It was during the time of just before the Civil War in America. And it's about slave life, slavery in the United States. And you had I forget what you call them, people who were against slavery. And primarily those whites who were against slavery lived up in the North. Okay, so that's this. And it's considered a classic in its day because it helped along, teach white America in the North the evils of slavery, chattel slavery, and eventually the Civil War occurred, and the North wins the Civil War, thus ending slavery. And I've said many times in my videos that my background, I'm not from the South. I'm born and raised here, and I'm a veteran. And my parents were born and raised here, went to all the public schools and the public college, the um, local colleges in the area. Okay, but my grandparents, on both sides of my family, both my parent and my both of my parents' side, they came to New York from the Caribbean, and they assimilated. But I was raised as an American. I went to all black schools, black American schools. And yet in New York City you have a lot of immigrants from from the Caribbean / West Indies. And I look a little, of its day, of my day, my early years. New York City, if you were black, you looked it. They really didn't have a lot of caramel color girls and boys. They really didn't. But now, of course, you do, because now you have more immigration from other Caribbean islands, the general mixed race, like myself. But I identify as being a black person, and that's how white people see me. And they made sure that they um, treated me like a black person. Yes, I know discrimination. I know what it's like to not be wanted. I know what it's like to, you want to look for an apartment and the landlord or the management office tells you things and you can't believe what you're hearing. But there's another component to me, and it could, it's what I think it's prompting me to do this video. Again, this video is not designed to slam dunk. It's designed to awaken and to let you know about how things are being perceived. Yeah, so yes, someone had already left the live stream already. See, I'm already turning off people. See, we don't want to. Okay, they might have come back on. Okay, sometimes people don't want to hear the truth. See, now those of you who have been following me on YouTube, I'm very upfront about who I am, about my experiences, and it's a way for me to cope. I love my black community. I love you guys. I love you all. When I graduated from college, and the ceremony was in May of 2012, but my last class was November 4. Oh, my exam, my exit exam. Hey, how you doing? Oh, okay. Hey, welcome, South Africa. Yeah, hey, we got an international person from South Africa. Yes. Good morning, good morning. Oh, I guess in your case it'd be good afternoon. Yeah, what time is it in South Africa? Yeah, let us know. But yeah, see, yeah, some of us, someone else dropped out. Well, you know, it's a free country, and if someone doesn't want to hear something, they are free to leave. Oh, okay. 14:35. Okay, so that's 2:35 in the morning. I mean, in the afternoon. 2:35 in the afternoon. Fantastic, fantastic. Yes. Welcome, welcome, welcome to this live stream. Yeah, I haven't seen your name before, but welcome. And I want to be honest. And it's okay for people to put in the chat if you have questions pertaining to what I'm talking about, because see, this is about educating all of us and myself. But I felt the need to express myself. I'm doing this live stream in New York City, a city that I love. I love New York City. I I was born and raised in New York City, and I experienced a lot of things. And I, I'm confused. I'm hurt. And as in the title of this live stream, that there's a terminology that uh, I was introduced to maybe 3 years ago called cooning or coon, Coon. Now, in the days of this book, let me show you again. When this book was written, okay, Uncle Tom's Cabin, that I'm reading now, the word coon was used when this book was written. And the word coon, this is a book about slavery. It's a novel. It's a fictional novel during the time of slavery in America's South. Okay, it's a novel, and I'm reading it because I want to educate myself about. See, um, the word coon was used during the time when this book was written. This book was written in the 1850s. Okay, and I'm about halfway done on it. Okay, because I need to educate myself. I believe in educating myself. I'm not perfect, but I felt a need because I'm hearing all these terminologies being used. And I wanted to understand what certain words mean and the historical context of when certain terms were used to understand my fellow black. My, you know, my See, I'm born here, but I'm not from the South, American South. I'm not like from Florida or Virginia or Georgia or Alabama or the Carolinas. And so I want to understand my my fellow blacks whose ancestry, you might live in New York City like I do, but your background's from the South, the southern states. But you're using certain terminologies like the word coon. And again, when that book, Uncle Tom's Cabin, was written, the word coon was a term that prejudiced white people, use against black people, and it was meant pejorative. It's meant to be an insult. It's, to my understanding, it was equivalent to the N word. I'm not going to say it. The N word, okay? And let's see. Um, I was again just about to read the book, and this agitation came over me because I started thinking about, like, before I went to bed last night, I saw some videos on the riots that is happening in the United States. The riots over, oh, what's the name? Breonna Taylor. And I did do a recent video, live stream about that incident. And the videos that I saw gave more detail about what happened. A lot needs to be corrected, such as the no knock warrants. If you're going to go in a woman's home, you better announce yourself. You have a woman that lives alone, and you go to knock on the I wouldn't want to open the door for anyone at 12 something in the morning. It's dark outside. It's like midnight. And you're going to go to a woman's house. But it was just a lot of questions about the whole incident. My name is David. Well, I'm a big concern about my life and my purpose being here. I'm physically living. Okay. Okay. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, life is very confusing. And so when I watch the video about the case, someone shared documents about, the warrant for to go into her home, her apartment, and a lot of things didn't make sense. It's sad because someone died, but the other frustration, because see, the cops are trying to do their jobs, and you get people who may, again, I don't know what the truth is. Was she working with that drug dealer? They got the drug dealer. They were able to arrest him without incident. But when they went to get the girl, they didn't know that her boyfriend was with her. For whatever reason, He's out in the open shooting. He shot once, the boyfriend. And I don't know why, if you're visiting your girlfriend, why would you bring a gun along? It just didn't make sense to me. They don't shoot him, even though they have a clear shot to shoot him because he's out up front. But they don't hit him. But somehow the bullets ricocheted and hit the girl in the back. I mean, hit the girl who was in the back of the room. I don't understand how these things happen. And it agitated me. And sometimes when I'm agitated and I don't understand things, when something doesn't make sense, my mind kind of goes haywire, and I feel anger, and so that's what's happening here. He misses Grand Risings. Oh, hi, Mrs. Grand. Okay, how you doing? So, there were other things that I saw yesterday on over YouTube, and that was the rioting because of the Breonna Taylor's the grand jury. I think it was a grand jury or something, and they get released. No charges were placed against two of the three officers, but the third officer was um, what do we call it? Was charged because he shot into somebody else's apartment. Okay, and rightly so. You hit into somebody else's apartment who's not involved. It's carelessness, and so yes, he's been indicted. That's the word, indicted. So I'm seeing all this violence on television. It's stressing all of us out watching it. And when I saw of it, I heard about this particular video, and then they showed it, and it's daytime, and they're elderly white women who's having their, I guess, lunch, and there's what do you call it, rioting slash protesting uh, in the streets, and it spills over to this cafe, outdoor cafe, where these elderly white women are eating, and they are bullying these elderly white women. And then I thought it was a man at first, but the person who's shown the videos uh, commented and said that a woman did such and such. I said, that was a woman? And so then they showed the video, and yes, when you look closer, it was a female, a big female, big chubby woman, and she takes uh, a glass something and starts consuming their food. I think it was a beverage. Takes it and walks. And I think that when I saw that, the anger that I felt, and it reminded me of something, the same sentiment that happened to me, and that's what I want to talk about, and other things. Um, Again, I love my people. I love black people, but I don't like some of the things that we do and what we do to each other. See, if you want to be taken seriously, your conduct is very important. What you do, very important. And when you act like a buffoon, when you act violent against peaceful people, you are going to look like the aggressor, and you're not going to get any uh, sympathy from people that you want sympathy from, so that your words are heard, and so um, things could be done to protect you. You know what I'm saying? So, upon seeing the thing with the lady taking their food and eating it from see, I have an elderly mother. My mother is in her 90s. Okay. She doesn't live with me. She lives with other relative, other sibling. And I have a sensitivity for the elderly, especially you look kind of, old and frail, and you're just minding your own business. And when a young person attacks or violates the space of an elderly person, I get angry. Or if you bother an animal, I have three little pets. This is one of my babies here. That's my little girl. She's sleeping. Okay. Excuse my room. It's a little messy. But yeah. Um when you mess with animals, we do wrong, but the media is multi okay. Country. Okay. Yeah, I welcome your yes, the media sometimes we all know that sometimes media twists things. We all know that. But still, when you, a strong person, young person, and you go up to a complete stranger and take their food, that woman needs to go on a diet. She doesn't need to be eating elderly people. You know that some poor people, some old people don't have money to buy food or medicine. You're gonna mess with their plate? How would that fat woman like when she's eating her meal and a bunch of white people bigger than her and in a pack go and take her food? She did it to show power over them. Well, let me tell you what happened to me, what it reminded me of, and I had to put down my book. Uh-huh. What happened to me, this happened maybe 3 years ago. And I was on my way to visit my elderly mom. And I took the train, and this was my favorite train. I never had any problem on this train. It's a nice train. It's usually very clean, it's fast. Um, it's usually not a lot of people on it. And so I went to, on the train, had a nice seat, and there's many seats available. And then the door opens, at its stop, and these two young black women enter. One of them, the skinny one, was eating a pizza, and she bangs into this tiny little Asian girl, doesn't say excuse me or anything like that. And then the bigger girl is like looking down um, the far end of the train. I'm slightly diagonally in front of them, right in front, but slightly diagonally across from them, about maybe 8 feet away. Yeah, because the seat I was in was right next to the door on the opposite side of the wall on the train. And it looked like they're looking for something. The big one. And then she turns, looks at me, and at the time I was reading. I had my iPhone, and I was reading a book on my my an ebook. And she says very rough, excuse me, but really, but the intonation and how she spoke was to move. I didn't know what she wanted. I thought, okay, maybe she dropped something somehow or something. She wanted to look under the seat for something. I had no idea what she was going to do. So I just nonchalantly I said nothing. I just slid over and continued reading. And guess what she does? She sat in my seat. And the skinny girl that's eating the pizza drops part of her pizza on my lap. Then she starts to laugh and say, "Oh, I'm sorry," real stupid like. I call the skinny girl, girls like her, I have a name for girls like the skinny one. She was tiny, but skinny. Her Girl Friday. And you can look all over the internet. The term is Boy Friday, but this is a girl, so it's a Girl Friday. Okay. And the train has a lot of Asians and Hispanics. I'm the only black girl on the train, and then directly across from me is an older black man, and he's witnessing and watching, and he's shaking his head like, "Look at this." I said nothing throughout the time, and I realized now I'm pretending to be reading, but I've realized now what happened. They came on the train to try to target a black person. She was maybe looking for a black person. She was looking for a victim, someone to bully this fat ass woman. And I think her being a chubby lady, she was dressed neat. She had braids in her hair. She had multiple facial piercings, but not, nice makeup, nicely done. She had on her Louis Vuitton handbag. Who knows whether it's artificial or not? But either way, she was actually dressed very neat, but had a real kind of street edge to her. And the skinny one was dressed very um, street like. And the anger started to rise in me. See, what could happen in New York City when you're a black person is that you're not valued. And if you are a black person and you get in a fight in public, this is what could happen. Now, I'm over twice the age of these women, two against one. But what could happen is that you get arrested for being thugged by a bunch of street urchins. So I had to keep cool because, again, I don't know whether these females have weapons. And they were obviously looking for trouble or an excuse to have a fight. And they knew not to deal with those Asians because they're outnumbered. So the train was overwhelmingly Asian and Hispanic. And there were many seats available that both of them could have sat down together, but the fat one, decides to target me. Then they get off a couple of stops later, and when they got off, they just went to the stage and just stood there. So where the hell are they going? Why did this happen? Well, you have some street people who don't really know what they want to do, but they want to do something and they want to target somebody to feel powerful. So let's pick on an older lady, older black lady, and bully her so they can feel like they accomplished something. So The incident on the video that I saw with the fat woman, fat black woman, stealing the food from elderly white woman really set me off because it reminded me of what happened to me. A big, fat, chunky black woman trying to bully, or I should say, intimidate. See, when she ate or drank that person's food, it was to intimidate the perceived weaker person. So she doesn't pick on someone who's as big as she, but picks on somebody who she perceives as being weaker. So it shows that the lack of character and cowardice of that woman. And that's what I'm against. And the mindset of some of us in the black community are weak minded and want to bully or intimidate that which they perceive as being weaker. How do you represent? Why will you do something like that? Why? It takes away from your whole argument about persecution, discrimination, when you lack the character and hurt somebody or want to intimidate somebody who's weaker, who's perceived by you to be weaker. Then I saw another video of a white woman. He had a skinny black dude, tall, and takes paint and pours it over this elderly white woman's head and then arguing with her. This is despicable, disgusting. And the guy, this is what the guy reminded me of. See, I experienced a lot of things living in this city, New York City. I had gone to a fast food restaurant a couple of years back. I'm online, and in front of me was a young black man. It looked like a teen or early 20s. He's wearing a sleeveless shirt. He got muscles, and he's carrying these bongos in this backpack. Then he turns around to me because there's just one person in front of him. He decides to turn around and ask me, could you buy my food? So I'm a type of person that when somebody asks for food and I'm in a position that I could offer them food, and if I'm able to, I would do it. I was just in a good mood. When I'm in a good mood, that's the best time to ask me for something. So the lady, I tell the guy, yes, I said, choose whatever you want and I'll get it for you. So it's his turn. And then he starts to roll his eyes and suck his teeth because he's irritated because it's not coming. I don't know. The order came, it was regular. It was nothing. I didn't see anything wrong. But he's getting huffy at the cashier. He ain't paying for the food, but he's going to get angry at the cashier for who knows what reason. Nothing was said to him. See, a lot of us in the black community are selfish. And these guys some of these men don't add to our community of any goodness, some of them. But they're going to beg another black woman to pay their way rather than paying their own way. And when they don't get it fast enough, they're going to be huffy and puffy. He never said thank you to me. Never. Never said thank you. So they just see you as a piggy bank, and just move on. They get what they want and then they move on. So what else happens? So that's what that guy reminded me of, that pour the paint. The same body type. And just a selfishness and destructive persona. Then there was a something else. Oh, what was that now? Oh, it was one other thing. Oh, I'm trying to remember now, but it was something else that happened. Person. Oh, I remember. I remember now. Yeah. Um, this might have been maybe 3 years ago. I had a family member visit me, and then I walked them to the subway in a very busy area, very touristy. Really, really, it was very, very pleasant. It was off 6th Avenue and 42nd Street. There's a big subway entrance, and the sidewalk is tremendously wide, a very big, wide uh, sidewalk, I meant to say. Very big. And I'm in the middle of this sidewalk with this person, saying my goodbyes before they walk down the stairs. Guess what happens? Well, these two young dudes, black dudes, okay, wait a minute. I'm sorry, Lavin. I'm sorry that there was my dog wasn't feeling well. I'm sorry. Baby, you okay? Okay, I'll get that for you. I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, my little doggy wasn't feeling well. Okay, so these two guys, they were relatively tall. They were a little taller than me. They were the same height as this family member. Young, could have been in their 20s. Again, those young dudes, slim, look very healthy and strong. And one of them gets maybe 6 inches away from my uh, family member's face, and the other dude was maybe like 2 arm lengths away. And my family member stood this ground, and I'm like, what is going on? And then the two guys walk away, and they go down the subway stairs. What it looked like was that these young guys were looking again for another victim, black victim. And this person would be considered a senior, someone in their 50s. And these other guys were like in their 20s and muscular. You have some black people in our community that are targeting older black folk to do was it a gang thing? It was something. I kid you not. I kid you not. 2 of them assigned or something to hurt this other person. Why did this happen? Luckily, they backed off. This is an area where you have a lot of white people. It's a nice area, very touristy, and business people. And the person was wearing just casual clothes, like vacation. They were, I think, on vacation. This person I know, they're wearing a Aloha shirt. So it's very tourist looking. but we're like the only black folk there. And they went to target him. See, these people who do things like this um, come out of the woodworks. They're part of our black community, but they don't serve the community. So they look forward to these protests to go and target people that they perceive as being weaker, usually the elderly. And that's why I'm doing this video. Because it didn't matter. They didn't know this person that I'm with. They just approached him to beat him up. But they got scared. They backed away. Coward. Coward. See, it's things like this, that people like this in our community that need to be removed. It's people like this that I'm addressing that cause the drug epidemic, because see, they probably sell to their own community and cause deaths in families, of hardship, of pain and suffering when someone dies or gets addicted to drugs. It upsets the whole community. When someone vandalizes buildings, sets them on fire in their own communities, this is a horror. It's like they're being planted in our communities to destroy us, yet they say Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Yes, it does. So why are black people targeting other black innocent people? And when you need help, they don't stand up to help you. Why? Now it's about 2.5 months now, I had gotten groped by a man that lives in this one of the hotels. The city buys hotels and houses the homeless in them to live. He was begging on the street, and then he pretended that he wanted to ask questions about my dogs. I had my dogs with me, and he did it as a pretense so he can squeeze my behind. Bunch of perverts. Okay? This is what is in our community. And it doesn't matter whether you're male or female. I'm targeted by both. And it's like when you're now I've done volunteer work in the black community. Yes, I did. I had just graduated from college, and I was out of the workforce for many years, and I needed to get my feet wet. So I said, hey, maybe, do volunteer work here at a hospital, one of the black hospitals in the city. I've in the past also did volunteer work and read to the blind people. Okay? I think I'm an asset to the black community. I was always eager to try to set a positive image, especially when I went back to college for the last time and then graduated. I always wanted to portray a positive image because of racism in New York City. to show white people and other ethnic groups that just because you're black doesn't mean you're a criminal, and to conduct myself in a respectable manner when I go to a public area, and then to be thugged or what do you call it? Into you know to be intimidated, or to their intent is to intimidate me to get something over me. I feel that I'm being taken advantage of. I've bought food for the hungry on the street. I've bought food for them who beg. If I don't have my dogs with me, and they say I'm hungry, I need food, I buy it for them. I had a guy on the street, black dude on the street, asking me to buy him toilet paper, and I bought it for him. It cost me $15 to buy it for him. But look what happens. They see people like me, and they don't care. They don't care that you care. All these things that I do for us, for the community, and then you have some of us who name call me and say, oh, you're cooning, and they don't even know what the word coon means. So I'm angry and hurt because I feel that I try to do so much. I pray for us. I walk in pain when I go in the street and see all you guys living on the street. It pains me. Everywhere I go now, you see us all over. And like last week, now it's a drug surge. And they're doing drugs openly in the street now. Oh my goodness. Where I live, it's dangerous. Absolutely dangerous. And it's like, why? It's like they just withering away. They just lack no hope and just not caring. They just let it all hang out. And when I got groped by the black dude, I run to a store that's right next to me. It happened at a storefront. So I go to the window, and a black woman was working there, young black woman. I said, please help. Please call the cops. This man just did such and such to me. And the man is approaching me still. So I'm pinned against the glass window and him right behind me. And I felt danger. I don't know whether this guy has a knife or whatever. The black lady doesn't help me. Instead, she yells at me that why should she get involved? And for me to call myself the police. See that? So my helping the community, my doing volunteer for the black community, my giving out toilet paper, my buying food, my doing my YouTube videos and giving free information to the black veterans. I am a veteran. My very first video I did, it wasn't this channel, but another one. The very first, because I knew I wanted to somehow serve and give and help out the black community. The very first video I ever did was information on how to get a vendor's license, because you have a lot of black veterans where I live. It was information, valuable information. And yet, this is how I'm treated. This is how I'm treated by my own community. And a lot of other things. See, also what happens in our community, if you're are a mixed race black person or have a persona of maybe being raised in a middle class community or something like that or educated, they don't like you. And they want you to feel guilty to be middle class or to have maybe your hair texture is a little different than theirs. Oh, maybe you speak a little different. It's always something. And I feel very sad because um, I'm a member of your community. But it doesn't matter. And it's like, wow, I feel like I'm being thrown under the bus. That's how I feel. Thrown under the bus. And now you have what they call the black liberals. And I don't I have an issue with them also. I'm not I meant to say conservative. I meant to say conservative. Black conservative. Black conservatives is what I meant to say. You have a growing rise in the black conservative, and I'm starting to have a concern with them. Now, I'm conservative, but I also have liberalism in me too. I'm a blend of both. I am a blend of both conservative and liberal. And the liberals are going another way. I mean, the conservatives, so I keep saying liberal, but the conservatives are saying like this one, and I mentioned them about a week ago, these black conservatives. Now, it's in, they're another extreme. It's like they they have a position, they're speaking as if they, they, it's hard for me to explain. They're black people, but it's like they're catering to whites by um, pretty much conveying that they are that whites are not responsible for certain things historically, and businesses like this one guy, he has a business, but he doesn't hire his own. Or you have a girl and she's saying all these things and starting a black movement, but yet she has no involvement with black people. She's being interviewed all, and when I first heard this female, I was really excited for her, and I identified with what she was saying. But that was like a year and a half ago. I first was introduced to this black conservative female, but now it's like, is she, who is she really about? And that some of these black conservatives are actually being sponsored by white people to promote the narrative that there's no racism, that everybody has a free share. But I know otherwise. I'm not looking for a handout. I'm about justice. I'm about being fair. And I'm about being truthful of things that do go on. So I feel like I'm in the middle of everything. I feel like I'm in the middle. And this agitation, so I want to live like there's, freedom and peace and all that. I want to live like that. I want to believe the black conservatives. I really do. I want to believe everything they say, that if I work hard and do these things, that I be loved by the white community, that I won't be discriminated. I won't see any black men on the street doing drugs because we all have happy jobs. I want to believe that. But I know it's not true. So I feel like I'm in the middle. And so I'm venting And I really want peace for all of us. I know I've said a lot, and I had turned off some people from this video, but you tell me, what is the solution? You have black people who are um, hurting people, and then you have the black conservatives who claim that everything is rosy, but for whatever reason they don't have any black friends, they don't live around black people, um, and just somehow magic happens for them. They have their own businesses, but they don't hire black people. Yet everybody else, every other group, hires their own, but you. So now black America is on the bottom of the economic ladder. And now the word is getting out that black people are actually not the bigot. That's what they're playing now, that black people are the new bigots. Yet and that all the other races are saying we're the bad guy now. And some of our behavior, it looks like that we're the bad guy. But also what's happened in the black community is that you have in what do you call it? In people who are infiltrated. Okay, it's hard for me to pronounce the word. That you have outsiders who are planted in our community and are the invisible agitators, and is actually using you as a shield for their activity. You have outsiders, these communist agitators, these socialists, these Leninists, these Marxists, and they infiltrate the black community, and they are doing damage and the vandalism, but you get blamed for their activities, and you're not wise to it. And some of the blacks don't care. Some of them are being paid. This one video I saw, he was being paid. You saw money transaction done, and the black dude, goes away on his bicycle to do who knows what. You're destroying your own neighborhood. You got to stop it. I'm afraid for your life that you in your protests or rioting, and then the what do you call it? The military gets set in, and they're going to take care of business. And then after everything is said and done, you're left with nothing in your community. You need to work cohesively together to uplift yourself, to educate yourself, to clean up your community, so that you don't have to have police officers doing a no-knock warrant arrest on you. You're fighting the wrong people. I think most of those people that you see in those, we call those so-called protests, I think many of those people are the actual drug dealers and murderers and rapists in the black community. You need to get rid of them. You need to protest those creeps who live in your neighborhood, or raping your children, who are beating up your grandmothers and grandpa, who are selling drugs to your children. But for whatever reason, you don't mobilize to get rid of those creeps. Because you know why? Because black lives don't matter to you. Black lives don't matter to you. You're a liar. You are a liar. And then when a cop who's trying to make peace, the cops aren't perfect, and many cops screw up too. They'll screw up, many of them. But when they're trying to do their job, and you're not helping either in pointing out who the drug dealers are, So they have to do their best. And then a Breonna Taylor happens, a real tragedy. You have to help yourself first. You have to conduct yourself like a professional, like a human being. If you act like an animal, you're going to be treated like one. Stop walking around with your pants hanging down, looking spooky. Ladies, you need to teach your sons how to dress. You need to teach your women how to dress and act like a lady, not like a tramp or a foul mouth. You have to teach yourself how to educate yourself and educate your children for a better tomorrow. You think it's more racism now and not during my mother's day? My mother's in her 90s and she went to college. Blacks back then went to school and educated themselves and lived under horrendous situations in the South and in the North. And you're telling me that it's worse now. No, you're making it worse for yourself. You are making it worse for yourself by not sticking together and working as a team. Wake up and start mobilizing how to stop the violence and to start loving, truly loving yourself. Love the person in the mirror. That is my message. Love the person you see in the mirror. Every day, that's what you tell yourself. Every day, look at yourself in the mirror, dress in a nice, clean way. Iron your clothes, your pants, have a belt on. Walk straight with dignity. Stop using the N-word and say words of peace and harmony. Then you're going to start getting peace and harmony in your neighborhood. It starts with you first. Always. It's always the individual first who can transform a community. When you start hearing those guys say the N-words, and if you know them, say, you know something? We're not going to use that word anymore. We're going to say, hello, brother, or hello, sister. Don't use those ugly words anymore. And you're going to see things going to change. Start eating right. Don't go to those fast food places every day and wonder why you're so overweight. It's your responsibility to eat right. Learn how to do sprouting like I'm doing. Like I've done it, and I'm waiting for my jars to come in the mail and to do my sprouting. It's real inexpensive to do. You just need some empty jars, like a screen, and you can eat your fresh bean sprouts and get your vitamins and start feeding your body real food. You're eating Frankenstein food. And you wonder why you're acting crazy, because you're eating crazy people food. Change your diet, and so you can change your life. You're going to feel different. You're going to feel better. So with that, I thank you for watching. And again, am I cooning or am I just sharing love to you? Love yourself, love your people in community, and love people outside of your group. Love is fluid. Love is for all and is to share freely. I thank you again for listening. Peace, love, and joy this beautiful, beautiful Sunday morning. Okay? Thank you for listening. Bye bye.